and have a sense of like your belonging when you're in a photography world, because sometimes it's lonely.
MEETORS, 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 MEETORS. Meet creators with Pixani. This is a space to show all creators of Central Florida in English and in Spanish. Hi everybody, welcome to MEETORS, Meet Creators with Pixani. I'm Pixani, I'm a photographer from the community, and I had the idea to get this podcast to exposure all of you guys. And I'm sorry for my English if I make any mistakes. I'm still learning. I'm originally from Venezuela, and my interviewed is from Philippines, but I think you're more American now than Philippines.
Yes, 100%.
So this is
Airam Dato-On.
Airam Dato-On is with us. He's a photographer, amazing photographer. After we finish, I'm gonna get you all his Instagram, TikTok, all his links so you can book with him. But he's an amazing photographer. He's also a content coach, and he works with Pexels and Canva.
Correct.
So your community is very big, and you're able to always see a lot of creators.
Correct.
Here in Florida, especially.
In the US.
In the US as well. So your work is not only in Florida, but also around the country.
Yes. So the community that I do for Pexels is the US community. So all over the US.
How do you handle all the culture here in the US?
I think that comes with me moving from the Philippines to here and having that cross-cultural, experience. And also I was living in Hong Kong for 6 years before I moved back to Orlando. So I have all the cross-cultural experience that I'm able to go from the South to the North to the West Coast people with very different cultures. Even though, yes, they're parts of the US, they're still very different from each other.
Very different. That's why I ask you, because every time you travel to any different state, it's a different culture.
Yeah.
In a different way of communicating with people. Yes,
very much so. When I first moved to the US, it was in Cincinnati. So Midwest, very different. And now I'm in the South.
You have a lot of culture with you. I can imagine.
And being in Florida, it's very different. Like there's more Latino culture in here. There's more island feel to the culture. So yeah, it's like bringing what I learned in the Philippines to here as well.
And when in your life, when was the moment that you decided you wanted to be a photographer?
Back in 2012 or 2010, around that time, I got a camera. I rented a camera from school because I needed it for a project, and then decided, I should get my own. And I had the Canon T3i. I feel like everyone starts with that camera.
Yes.
And I had it for almost 8 years. And I tell people, I shoot with it like a tourist. And I shot with it like a tourist for almost 8 years before really understanding how to shoot intentionally. Like with composition and understanding of what the frame would look like and all that.
So these 8 years were for you like a hobby? Photography was a hobby. So you had your regular job or your regular, life.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened after that? Like, what made you? Because I'm wondering what made you change. Like, this is gonna be professional for me.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be my life.
Yes.
Period.
It was in 2018, 2019. I shot for the nonprofit that I was working for, and I shot their headshots for the staff.
Okay.
And one of my friends saw it, and he was like, "Can you take my engagement photos?" And that was when I went from hobby to professional, because he had asked me to do his engagement photo. I don't know why. They were headshots for a company, an organization. So from there, my wife and I knew that we were going to move back to Orlando. And I needed a job. I didn't have a job. So I was like, all right, I have a camera. I have some skills. I should learn how to get paid clients and how to have a portfolio that people would pay for or hire me for. So yeah, that's when it started around 2019.
And you said there is a business in here.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's make the business of photography.
Yes. So my background is in graphic design, and I've already had paying clients from that, and I knew how to handle clients and have a process for onboarding clients. Already had a background in freelance work, just not in photography freelance. But it was easy transition from graphic design to photography. It was actually easier.
And you already had the experience to adapt yourself.
Yes. So I already knew how to find clients and how to market myself and all that. Yeah.
And, okay, so I like this because you started finding clients. You made photography your profession, your life, and your destiny.
Yes.
How or when and how did you decide to help other photographers?
So that was in 2020.
In the pandemic?
During the pandemic, I was sitting at home. It was like 1 a.m, and I was watching this video by Chris Do of The Future. So if you haven't seen any of his videos, go to The Future on YouTube and Chris Do. He had a video about how to grow your Instagram in like a couple months to get to like 10,000 or something like that. And it was about creating carousels. So when your Instagram has like several slides, but
you pass the images one next to the other.
But intentionally using them as an educational content. And it was 2 a.m. by this time that I finished the video, and it was like, I need to make these because I wasn't getting any work. No one was booking anyone. It was April of 2020, and I started making these. I was at like 1.5K followers by then. After a couple months, I grew to about 5,000 to 7,000.
When comes Pexels and Canva to place?
So Pexels I started working for them in 2021, in June 2021. My boss, Blue, he lives in Fort Lauderdale. He found me on Pexels and had messaged me about uploading a couple more photos, and they were thinking about starting a US community and starting a big US campaign. And so when they reached out to me, we had a talk, and then he brought me on to an interview. Back then I had only like 22 photos on Pexels. So I didn't even have a lot. I was just someone that they found that had good photos on there. I was working for them part-time for a couple months and brought on full-time back in January, and we wanted to do more meetups and more things for the community and photography communities so that people can create together and have a sense of like your belonging when you're in a photography world, because sometimes it's lonely as a freelancer. You're working on your own, you're trying to make it. But if there's people that you can talk to, that you can reach out to about any troubles you have, or maybe questions that you might have for someone, it's a great space to be in. And this is something that I wanted to do even before. I never thought it would be Pexels. I'd been using Pexels for a couple of years, and never did I know that they would notice me even then, and just for me to be working for them. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. I remember when we met the first time. I don't know if you remember that I asked you, hey, why should I, belong to Pexels?
I remember that.
Because I've been using Pexels for the last, I think, a year and a half for my content, because I do a lot of editing on video. And I also seen on Pexels a lot of content from Europe.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to find like Latin culture. And it was with your answer that it catch my attention.
Yeah.
And I switch.
I don't even remember what I said, but it's good.
So you said that, and this is for everybody, if you have photos that you don't use and that you know they're going to just be stuck on a folder, why don't you just bring it to the community and so everybody can use it?
Yep. What I tell people is if your photos are just going to sit in your hard drive, might as well just share it to everyone. Might as well have someone look at it and maybe use it. Because you never know what can come from it. I mean, this is where I am now, but yeah, it's a space that, it's a giving community.
And I think it's very important for also the culture. Because even though we have content from Europe, which is really big pixels in Europe, when you promote like us to bring the culture, it's going to bring a lot of content.
Yes.
To the internet.
And we're working on Latin America communities. So we have Mexico on the works. They're having their big campaign next month.
Perfect.
So, and it's going to slowly go down, maybe Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela, all those places, Peru too.
Hey, I love that. I love that. I have one more question for you before we start playing, because in this, we're going to also play, and there is alcohol in this podcast. So for all of those that are under 18, please don't repeat this.
No, under 21, under 21.
Under 20, yes, sorry, under 21. I was thinking like in my country is under 18, but here is 21, so worse.
For the rest of the world, under 18. For America, it's 21.
Exactly. But I can imagine that you have a lot of feedback from other creators. So that comes to mind, like what's the reason why that motivates you every day? Number one. And number two, what would you say to anyone that is seeking for succeed within the photography business?
Yeah. My main thing is, I mean, I can monetize everything, but I feel like kindness goes further than being competitive and being like not sharing your knowledge. I feel like sharing your knowledge, being kind to people will get you further. And building a community around a sharing and kind community will really make a big impact in society.
And then what would you say to anyone who is seeking for succeeding within the photography business? Maybe a kid or anyone that is starting, but they want to make it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to experiment. And don't be afraid to fail. Most of your experiments might fail. And from that, you're going to learn so many more things. You're going to be exposed to so many more skills that you might not be able to do if you're scared. So just be brave and don't be afraid to experiment.
Perfect. This episode is thanks to our sponsor, Secret Art Studios, located in St. Cloud, Florida. This is a place for creators where you can simply do your photography, videography, or podcasting. Simply type secretartstudios.com on your browser or at Secret Art Studios on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So now let's go into play.
All right.
Woo! So, there is
I can't smell them, right?
No.
Okay.
No. You take it, you drink it. That's it. So there are 3 shots.
Yeah.
2 of them are with water. 1 of them is with alcohol.
Okay.
Which is tequila. If you take the alcohol or I take the alcohol, that one is gonna answer a awkward question from this from the other one.
Sounds good.
Okay. Let's.
All right. Let's see. I can't smell it. So
Oh my God.
that was water.
This was alcohol.
So I have to ask you an awkward question.
Oh yeah, and I have to confess something before.
Okay.
It's my first
Should I just
time.
do another shot just so that I get a shot too?
No, that's fine. I mean,
sure?
if you want to drink, you can drink. You don't need to. It's my first time drinking tequila.
Really?
Really. I have never.
Let's do it together. You have another one right there.
Yeah.
And you just sip it. Don't shoot it. Just sip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Perfect. Cheers.
Yeah, and just sip it.
Oh,
Just enjoy the flavor.
I know for the next time.
What was the craziest thing you ever did? That's
Oh, I have done many things.
give us 3.
3? Okay. When I left my country, I did it by the border, and I traveled by bus from Venezuela to Argentina. 13 days.
Wow.
Yes. Crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But I got to know 6 countries. It was amazing.
Through that.
Yeah. I travel I pass Ecuador, Colombia, from north to south.
Oh, you just went Colombia
Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile,
into Argentina.
In Argentina, I had to cross it because I went to Buenos Aires, and this by the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was intense.
I want to interview now. I want to interview you now.
Yeah, we can do another podcast for that. That's the first one. The second one, okay, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to drive. So
before you got here.
No, even before got here, but when I was here, the first year, I only been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
So the first year, I bought a car, and I said in 2 months I need to learn. And then I went to California. I rent a car over there, and I did the road trip from Los Angeles to San Francisco.
Oh my gosh! 4-hour drive.
Yes. Yeah, and I graduated.
Awesome. Yeah. Congrats.
And the first night in LA, I crashed the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
no.
It was intense.
Hey, you learned a lot.
I learned.
Just one trip.
So this was very exciting. I'm very happy to have you here in the podcast. I would like for you to give us all your links, your social media, where we can find you, and also where we can book any sessions with you.
Yeah. So my website is airam.co. So, and my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is Airam D Photo, and my YouTube is Airam Dato-On. So the main thing that you can book me through is go to my link in bio on Instagram, or just DM me on Instagram, and I'll help you out from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed the interview. It was amazing talking to you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah.
And with more activities.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks to our sponsor, Secret Studios, you have heard MEETORS with Pixani. Don't forget to listen to us in all platforms and to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at MEETORS. Bye-bye. Bye-bye was like too much.